What if I told you that I could help you make bass lines just like Jay Dilla, Kev Brown, Pete Rock, even the legendary Knots? I'm gonna show you 5 techniques in today's video that you can use to start making fire bass lines in every single beat that you make. Let's get into the video. Music producers, what's up and welcome back to another video. I am TheyCallMeHeat. I'm a music producer of over 15 years, and on my channel right here, I show producers how to make some of the best boom bap, hip hop style beats. Before we get into today's video, I do want to let you know about a brand new masterclass that I am releasing next month in February. That's right. A lot of you producers asked me, yo, when are you gonna make a course showing us how to make bass lines? I've sat on the idea for a while, and I was like, I think it's time to go ahead and bring the new year in the correct way. I want to introduce you to the Art of Boom Bap Bass Lines Masterclass. Now, this 2-hour masterclass includes 6 chapters for you. I'll be talking about essential bassline theory, sample chopping, and finding the right samples that will match or sound good with, the particular bassline that you would want to create. Now, I said this course is going to be available February 1st, but for the first 50 producers that pre-order the course, you'll receive an exclusive drum kit. Now, with that drum kit is going to come 20 bass MIDI patterns. So that means you'll be able to drag and drop the bass patterns into your beat while you're going through the course, or really just anytime that you're making a beat. Go ahead and head over to boombapuniversity.com or hit the link below in the description and go ahead and pre-order that today so that you can get your exclusive drum kit, your 20 bass MIDI patterns, and guess what? If you pre-order right now, you will get the course a week before it's released. Let's get back into the video. Now, the number one thing that I have to show you before I show you any other techniques, you need to always find the root note of your track. You have to. So finding the root note is very important, because once you know the root note, you can actually go on Google, or if you already know chords, if the root note is in D, everything in D works. Now, before I show you this, I want you to take a look at your MIDI controller, okay? When you look at the key of middle C and you go up 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, that 3rd step is a part of C. So that is a note that would work in C. So I have a beat here. So when you're finding the root note, what I like to do is I like to go up in the octave, maybe 2 octaves, depending on the type of bass that you're using. But the reason I like to do that is because when you can hear the higher tone, there's a wobble that happens when the note is wrong. That's how I've learned over the years how to find a root note, or how to find the root note of my track. Pitching or going up in the octave and then using the higher notes to then find the root note. So just like this. So we know it was a step up from C. Now I'm gonna show you something. Let me play a wrong note. It's not right. It's not right at all, and you can definitely hear it. Now, of course, I'm not the best at the keys, so I use what's called transpose. I can shift my keys a certain way. Let's say if it is a step above C, we want to transpose it up so that it moves our keys down 1. So I go to edit in my keyboard. I can just do that here, and I go up 1. Now that note should be on C. So that's how I like to find the root note. Now, I talk about ghost notes a lot. We usually incorporate ghost notes into like drums, your drum sounds and things like that. But ghost notes actually can be used in bass lines as well. So there might be a note that hit really quick before the next note. You don't want it so apparent. You just want it to accent the next note. In this bass line, when you're listening, and you can see here my piano roll, there are notes that I have. Essentially, this would be considered a ghost note because it's very, very quick. That first note is considered a ghost note because, again, like I said, it's not an apparent thing. So it actually helps and enhances the drum pattern a bit as well. I'm gonna play with the drum so that you can hear what I mean about accenting the drum. Ghost notes just bring a different rhythmic vibe to your beats. You know what I mean? It just adds this subtle, sometimes major, but a lot of the time subtle rhythmic variation that I love. Now, while we're on the ghost note side of things, I want to step into as well octave jumps. These are things that just add more of a variation to the track. So in this bass line, this track, we added those octave ups, those hits that are a bit higher. Let me play it. Now, we very well could have left it without those octave jumps, and I'm going to show you what happens if we take those octave jumps out. Listen to how boring that sounds now. Like that just sounds so boring. Again, you're not gonna put these in every single track, every single bass line, but this is a technique. This is something that you can do and incorporate to give your tracks a bit more oomph, you know, a bit more bounce, just adding more emphasis to what you already have without just overdoing it. Now, the next thing that I want to show you is using sampled bass tones or sampled bass notes. So I have a loop here. I also have a bass tone here. If you really want to get those sounds like Jay Dilla, you want to get that sound like Kev Brown or even the legendary Knots, man, this is something that they did a lot, especially Kev Brown and Pete Rock. So if you don't have bass plugins, you don't have the bass tones or things like that, but you may have some one shot, you can go search Google and get free bass one shots. So when you get the bass note in there, you want to turn your crossfade up. Now there's different ways that you can do this. You can turn the crossfade to where it, you know, is the one note, but you can go into Edison and set your loop points in there, and then it'll be like an everlasting note. But with this, I don't want the sine wave itself. I want the tone from the note as well. And when I hit it, when I let go, it doesn't play. But if I hold it, it's gonna repeat itself for no reason. I said it is a reason, but I don't need it to do that. Once you get the crossfade set and it's all good to go, now I can take this note and find the key of this actual sample. That's one. Okay, that's another note that works. So we got some notes that we can work with. Now what we're doing is, so from C, essentially, we're up 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. That's the first note that we can use that actually sounds good. So if you're on the key of C, middle C, you go up 1 step, go 2, 3, 4. That's your root note essentially. Now I'm gonna lay something down just so you can kind of see the possibilities of what you can do here. Now that we've recorded it, and I actually recorded it in a higher octave, guess what? Now we can take it down an octave. Super dope and super simple. This is something else that you can incorporate and use in your beat making techniques. Now this last technique, I feel like we all should know this, but I think that there's still people out there that they don't get it. They don't understand it. They don't know. And that is filtering. Just filtering the bass or sample, just filtering the sample to, or isolate the bass, you know, from the sample to be able to maybe use the bass that's already in a sample. So I have this sample right here, sounds just like this. Let's say you really, really love the bass in this sample. You don't know how to play bass, or, you know, you don't want to mess up the vibe of the sample. You don't want to lose what the sample is giving. So what we do, or what I like to do, is I like to duplicate the sample. So I'll duplicate it, then I'll go here and I'll make the sample unique. Again, I know this is probably used by a lot, but I think that people forget how great of a technique this is, how much of a time saver this technique is. Yes, some people may feel like, oh, that's cheating, you're not doing it right, you're not actually playing it. So somebody did. I always add you know, an EQ first, because we need to isolate just the bass from that sample. So we're gonna mute the main sample and put an EQ on the secondary sample. Then I'm gonna set my EQ to have a cut here. And you know, I like to have a steep cut because we're trying to cut all the frequencies out. I cut it all the way up until about 250. So now this is what the sample sounds like with no high end. Now you heard what was going on when I had it set at 250, then I moved it a little bit and then I opened it back up. Now what you're hearing is a little bit of that phony phone effect in there, still kind of in the background, which is something we don't want that when we're trying to, you know, do something like this. So I started at 250 because I feel like that's a good starting point. You won't always have it where you'll have that muffled phone kind of voice in the background. It won't always be like that, but you do need to be aware of it so that you can hear it. So many different ways that you can go with this. People think you don't know how to play bass. It's not real music if you're not playing it. It's fine. If you are creating something and it sounds good, it doesn't matter how it was created as long as it sounds good. Now, I hope that this was able to help all of you music producers out there that have watched this, and I hope this has given you another perspective of, you know, making bass. When it comes to creating beats, just different techniques, different little things that you may be able to use to make your beats better, to make them dope, to always have just fire bass lines every single time. All 5 of these things will help you make a big difference in your beats. Thank you for watching. If you liked what you saw today, be sure to give the video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. And if you are a Patreon member, you do get the sounds used in every single video, every single week. All right, so it's like getting a new sample pack every week. You'll never run out of sounds because I'm giving you sounds every single week. If you want to step your bassline game up, you want to take things a step further, don't forget, go ahead and pre-order the Art of Boom Bap Basslines right now, today. All right, so yeah, hit the link below, go ahead and pre-order. If you're watching after February 1st, pre-order is done. So just grab the course up. I appreciate you tuning in. I hope I inspire somebody to go create, keep cooking that boom bap, baby. And I'm out of here. Until next time. Peace.